Hey everybody, good afternoon. Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports. Just covering some ground here this afternoon. We have a special guest coming on live from Texas. First thing, big shout out to the coal miner's daughter, the champ, uh, Christina Martin. Have a great day, a great birthday. She has a great show coming up in St. Augustine, Florida this July. We're looking forward to supporting her in her show. So it's pretty awesome. Another thing, of course, today marks the anniversary of Hitman Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard when they fought to a draw at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas back in 1989. Um, if I remember right, Ray Mercer, his fifth professional fight, heavyweight Ray Mercer was on the card. And we have, like I said, a very special guest coming on that's going to join us. It's going to be a pretty nice show. We're looking forward in talking to this guest. Let's get her on right now. And again, thank you everybody for all your support with Latinbox Sports. We got some good things. We got Maurice Hooker coming on in a couple of days. We got Blue Chip Martin coming on. We got Joey Spencer from PBC. We're looking forward to talking to those guys. So we got some pretty good stuff coming up in the near future. So definitely we're looking forward to it. And Monday, special guest coming on live from California, Los Angeles. This Monday we have Leo Santa Cruz joining us on the show. So we're looking forward and chopping it up with Leo. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Isamary Aquino, right? Aquino?
Aquino, yeah. Uh-huh.
Hi, Isamary. How are you, champ?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Welcome to the Slip Punches show.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, there's so much about you as a young fighter growing up. You have such a decorated amateur career. You've done everything in the amateur. You've won nationals. You have trained in Colorado.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience as an amateur getting to the point where you're at now.
So I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. I started boxing at the age of 5. And really, my dad got me into the sport. I started out just doing it for self defense. And
Really?
I actually grew up just like my first couple of fights were all losses. So that
Really?
was like
Wow.
really motivating because
Okay.
I was like, I didn't know what it was like to win. And once I started getting on a winning streak, I really fell in love with the sport. And I started out winning state tournaments, then national tournaments, and then I started competing on the international level. And I just think all that experience would just help me become the person that I am today. And I see no reason for me not to be successful in the pros.
Now, definitely, I mean, you've traveled, you've done so much, you had a lot of support, you've had a lot of work with the Arturo Ramos and the Ramos boxing team. Talk about that because let me tell you, they spent some years here in Florida in the Tampa area. They
Yeah,
are such a wonderful family.
yeah.
Love boxing. I mean, love boxing. So, meeting them and knowing them myself, that's really great to know that you were part of that. Talk about those experiences.
So I actually moved to Texas when I was about 11 years old, and I moved to San Antonio. And one of my coaches back in Rockford, he actually told my dad that we had to go check out the Ramos boxing team because at that time they had like a big group of fighters. They were always going to like ringside tournaments, like every tournament that was like big at that time. They had a big group going, and we actually went to Tampa for like a month. They took like a big group of us, and we would go to Tampa for training camps. And just the family culture that they have, and like all the growing up, we had like just a lot of kids like all around, and like we had always like good sparring partners, and just like the idea of being in a family, like really like it was good.
Now that's definitely something I want to touch on because with the Ramos stables, there are of course other women fighters that are part of that stable. You guys ain't no joke. I mean, you really get in the ring and trade shots.
Yeah.
So you really got a lot of experience. How was that for you in all of this leading up to where you are today? I mean, it's great experience.
Yeah, it's a great experience because they're like the training that we do at Ramos, like it's no joke, and like they teach us, like they would like throw us into the ring, just like there was one time I did like a 20-minute sparring session where like I would do 1 minute with one person and the next kid would come in, I'll do another minute with them, just nonstop. But all that just really pushed me and just helped build me as a fighter.
I'll tell you, look, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 18, 19, those years you have gloves will travel. You've been everywhere,
Yeah, it's true.
fighting, competing, and really love what you're doing. How much do you love what you're doing?
I mean, I love it so much that I haven't given up yet. So, and I plan on having a long career. So,
So definitely, and that leads me, of course, to the next couple of questions. A press release has been released in professional boxing, and congratulations, you have made the announcement that you've turned pro. And under the management of a very, very well reputable manager in the sport, Peter Khan, congratulations.
thank
I
you.
mean, that's a really big step. Talk about that, and you got the phone call. Bring us back to that.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll just start out by saying like throughout my whole career, I had never really any intention on going pro. So like my ultimate goal was like going to the Olympics and going to school. But after the Olympic trials, the results of that, I was kind of just weighing out my options to see like what was the best for me like in my career. If I was gonna wait another 4 years like for the next Olympics, if I was just gonna quit altogether, go to school, and but then like the opportunity to came to go pro, and Vicencio, he contacted me that Peter Khan was interested in managing me, and I just saw no reason why not to. Like everything was there, everything had set up perfectly. So, and with a great team, a great support system, we're gonna be successful.
Most of the fighters, not all of them, but a lot of fighters in the sport, they carry their trademark in who they are.
Yeah,
And knowing, me as a boxing writer that will be in the future watching you ringside in fights and stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, no question about it. Knowing the history and what you've accomplished to this point, it's really incredible.
yeah. Thank you.
Um, for your name to be in the same breath and likes of a Michaela Meyer and an
Yeah,
Amanda Serrano and
mm-hmm.
a Heather Hardy,
Yeah,
names of other women in the sport that are carrying the sport.
yeah.
How does that feel knowing that I'm ready?
It feels good, because coming up, I never thought I'd imagine getting this far. I just thought I was supposed to quit when I was 15 years old. I told you I had only gotten into the sport because of my dad, and that he wanted me to learn how to self-defense. And so we had a deal that I was going to quit when I was 15. But life had just so happened that when I was 15, I made Team USA for the first time. And so ever since then, I've just been on like the up and up, like just winning constantly, having my name grow and grow. And I had never imagined getting this far. And this was never in the plan. So, it just feels amazing that God has blessed me to make it this far.
That's really beautiful, and that's well said, and that's awesome. But isn't it funny? You go home and then you see that wall. You see
Yeah,
all those medals and all those trophies and all these things that you've accomplished.
yeah,
I mean, that's breathtaking. That's a
yes,
lot of recharge of the battery and why you love what you do.
it's
Let
true.
me ask you something. How important are the fans in your life in the sport? Because even as an amateur, you have a heck of a following.
Yeah.
A lot of people follow you. So
Yeah.
how does that translate? Say some of the things to your fans, because you know what, they again, you're a star is born. You
Yeah.
know, you're a fighter that a lot of people are anticipating your pro debut. So
Hmm.
reach out to your fans, give them a shout out in through this journey that you're taking. What would you like to say to them?
Most of all, thank you, because I'm so blessed to have such a big support system. Like, not only just my family, but my fans who are a part of that family, because like they keep me going. Y'all keep me going. Just the amount of support and the love that y'all show me, it, you basically like you motivate me to go even harder. When I don't feel like training, I know I have to train because I have a big support system, a big fan base that are just wanting the best for me, and I can't let y'all down. So thank you.
Now, I've done some reading too, of course, and even on the USA Boxing, it say you like stuff like pizza and you
Yeah.
like Scarface. Yo, hold up! In your weight class, you can't be eating pizza.
I know. It's bad.
You know, Peter, take a look at that. You need to chill on the pizza. Listen, we're very excited to have you on the show because this is what it's all about for you
Yeah.
fighters. You know, this is very important what it's all about. As when the bell rings and you get in the ring, have you gave it any thought? Like, have you saw the fights last night with Top Rank?
No, I actually missed them. I was in the gym. But I saw the ones on Tuesday. I saw Shakur's.
Okay, you saw
That was
Shakur's
good.
fight.
Yeah.
Wow, huh? He's
Yeah, it was,
something really special.
yeah,
Not to get
really.
off the subject, but he's
No,
clearly
that body
special.
shot was crazy.
You know, and you're special too in your kind of way. Make no mistake about it.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you, have you given any thought? Of course, you get the phone call. You know,
Hmm.
right now you see boxing behind closed doors, and I know you're being safe. I know your family's being safe. I know your teammates are being safe. But
Yeah.
fighting in an environment, let's say, of course, where there may not be fans, would
Hmm.
that matter to you, or is that something it doesn't matter? You're ready to go. I mean, where are you at with that? Have you given some thought?
Yeah, I have, and actually, I think it's fine. I know that there's gonna be people watching regardless, even if they're not in the crowd. But if anything, it kind of just takes off a little bit of the nerd for my pro debut, since there aren't gonna be any fans. It's gonna feel more like calming in a way.
Uh-huh.
So I'm excited.
So your fight weight, are you still at 125 or did you move up a bit?
I actually moved down, so I'm actually
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I changed up my diet a little bit, and I'll actually be debuting at 118.
118. Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great to hear. Now, through your amateur career to now going as a pro, you have the same team, of course, behind you. Your
Yes.
trainer, cutman, coach, conditioner. Talk about that chemistry with your team because this is very important, you know, and it's so
Yeah.
nice because, you know, so many fans get this opportunity to learn more about you. So it's really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I've actually been with the Ramos family, like I said, since I was 12. Um, and honestly, just they make me feel comfortable. They know what my style is. They know what I need to work on. And I guess as far as my conditioning, I have my own conditioning coaches. I've teamed up with Coach K Karoma. So he's been helping me out. Um, just seeing, because I worked with him on Team USA, and then he's just been helping me out with the getting ready for the pro game. And it's just a joint effort, And I'm really blessed to have the support system that I have, not only in my family but in my coaches as well. That they just know me. It's hard to like leave that chemistry. Like if I trust them in the amateurs, I should trust them in the pros.
Now, definitely, boxing is a business, and you're at the place of your career that you're about to step into the next chapter of your business. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you're a major fan. Who's not? Who puts on the gloves and they're not a major fan of the sport? Is there
Yeah.
anybody in the sport today, one or two people that you look at them and you're like, you know what? That's the fighter I like. I mean, is there anybody that kind of in that position that you think about?
Actually, like a fun fact, I don't really watch a lot of boxing, to be honest. Like to,
What?
yeah. So if you were
Yeah,
to ask me this,
look behind me. Look behind me. See
yeah,
that? You need to watch more boxing. You got.
it's so bad. I kind of just recently, just I'll see like if I hear like one or two names that I'm like, oh, okay, I need to watch those. But like if not, like it's not bad. But I mean, I really look into like Michaela Myers fights, you know, because and Clarissa Shields because you know they are women's boxing and they're the ones that are kicking down the barriers, the doors, you know, and making way for my generation to step up. So whenever they're fighting, I'll make sure to tune in and watch. But apart from that, then like I'm
We
slacking a bit.
we have an old saying in the streets of New York, OGs, like, old gangsters. I'll tell
Yeah,
you what, today, a shout out, a celebration to the birthday of one of the most decorated women boxers that I've grown up in the sport watching, and that's the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin. Today's her birthday, so big shout out to Christy Martin.
yeah,
And let me tell you, she was one of those ladies that let her hands go.
yeah,
She was fun to watch. And that's what makes this exciting. You're going to be fun to watch. It's going to be exciting
yeah.
watching you fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
So, how can the fans that are watching follow you on your social media? What's your hooks? Like your Instagram, if you have Twitter, how can they follow you on social media?
All my social media handles are at Isamary Aquino. So just exactly the same spelling as you see on the screen.
Yo, look at that. The Telez crew's watching. Peter Khan's on with us. The manager's watching. That's all good. Mr. Clayton, how you doing? Mary, how you doing? Manny Fernandez. Got a lot of people tuned. Lupe, how you doing? You know, it's great. You have some great support. You have some great people tuning in. And again, we strongly recommend is keep on talking to the boxing writers. Keep on doing interviews and reaching out to the sport and letting your fans and people get to know you. And I hope you watch more boxing.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
I'm gonna send an email to my boy Peter and like we're gonna give you homework assignments.
All right, you gotta send me names,
Who
and
has
I'll
more
try to
fights?
watch a fight
Because
a day.
it's so much. I mean, you about again. It's what you've accomplished, and I go back to that because that's so important to put out there. What you've accomplished in the sport is amazing as an amateur, as a decorated amateur fighter. Make no mistake about it. And the transition that you're about to make is absolutely huge. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Have you gave it some thought? I mean, you got butterflies, or you're like, oh, I can't wait to my first fight. I can't wait to get in there. Where are you
um,
at in your mind when you think
a
about that?
little mix of both, you know, like definitely like some butterflies going into it because you know it's pro, it's a different level, it's different from the amateurs, but also excitement.
Yes, it
I just want
is.
to get back in the ring. I haven't been competing since December, so you know it's definitely excitement, a little bit of nervousness, but all that is normal.
Once again, please, champ, give another shout out to your fans because you're well appreciated in the sport. And it's awesome that you're able to come onto the Slip Punches show with us and reach out to the boxing world because this is really cool. Quarantine time has been
Yeah,
really tough on all of us.
for sure. Hmm.
So reach out, give a shout out to your fans again.
Thank y'all once again for always supporting me in my career, and I just hope I can make y'all proud and just y'all motivate me. Y'all motivate me to keep going stronger, and I just can't wait for y'all to check out my pro debut.
Now, you as a professional fighter, have you given any thought? You've been growing up in Texas,
Yeah.
in this chapter of your life and what have you. And what I mean by that is community. Where's your heart? How much are you, of course, with the Ramos team, are very involved in your community over there? Shed some light on us. Talk about some of the things that you guys do out there in Texas.
Um, really, it's just like an extended family, you know, being a part of the Ramos team. And they have a big, they have a large gym, a large group of kids. They're always bringing in new kids into the. They're on the south side, so always new kids into the community, into the boxing community, and just developing fighters and helping them out. Because you know, boxing changes lives, and being
Yes.
in that community center, you know, they're really changing lives to so they won't be out doing things that they shouldn't be able to do. They shouldn't be doing, you know, at the time. And just boxing really helps out with that because it gives them something to focus on, something to motivate them, something to, you know, expand beyond San Antonio.
And it's obviously no secret. The younger girls that come in the gym, I'm sure you lean a shoulder over and you help them out.
Yeah,
Give us
for
some
sure.
feedback on that because that's the type of fighter you are.
Yeah, it's really cool to see young girls in the gym because they remind me so much of me starting out. And the thing that's cool is that there's not just one girl and like a mix of boys. It's multiple little girls just in the gym working out. And at my time, it was just me, like one little 5-year-old in a mix of a crazy amount of dudes, and like I felt out of place. But with these young girls that come into the gym, they have a group of girls, a group of friends that they can all relate to. And then there's me, and then they have me as an example. And that really just motivates me even more that I have to keep pushing, I have to keep breaking down barriers, like, you know, like just motivate them into just so that they can see what they can become.
That's awesome. And these are things that are great to hear from you. It's nice to hear these experiences that happened to you while you were training over there and stuff and what have you. And, again, the Ramos gym, it reminds me so much of Robert Garcia and his stable. The Robert
Yeah,
Garcia stable is no different than Arturo Ramos and the stable there and senior. That stable is serious business. It's about boxing. And
yeah.
and that's one thing that it's not just known in Texas. It's
Hmm.
it's known everywhere.
Yeah,
So when you lace up the gloves and you're ready to go and you have a boy in front of you, they don't want to spar with you, right? I mean,
yeah.
for real, be honest. They just don't want to touch gloves with you, right?
I mean, maybe
It's
growing up
true,
young,
right?
it's true, yeah. But you know, the thing about boys is when I was younger, all I would spar was boys, and boys, they they would try to like take my head off because they're like, I'm not getting beat by any girl, any female, and
But you would beat them anyway.
yeah,
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Again, we are so happy and delighted to have you come on the show with us, and give a shout out to Peter Kahn and your management, of course, because they were very big instrument in teaming up with you and you guys and stuff like that, and we're
yeah,
just so happy for you guys.
yeah, for sure. I'm very grateful to Peter because you know, like he's making things happen, like, and I'm just so grateful that he's like just working with me, you know? Like that's so crazy. Like I had never thought I would ever be in this position. And I'm just so extremely grateful.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say is be ready.
Yeah, for
Be
sure.
ready because Peter gets fights.
Yeah.
You'll be fighting.
Hmm.
So again, it's really exciting, and we thank you for taking some time out in your training camp and with your family and talking to us on the Slip Punches show, and we hope we'll be following your career definitely, and we hope to have you back on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, champ, and you have a great afternoon. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon on the Slip Punches show. We'll be back later today. You have a great afternoon. Thank you.